My goal was to simplify and improve the indoor gardening startup process by delivering a completely integrated grow lab, constructed with the highest quality components that were specifically designed to give you superior results. Now, without disrupting your space or lifestyle, you can grow your own fruit, vegetables, flower, or medicine in the comfort and privacy of your own home. Best of all, when you purchase a Sumach Grow Lab, you can expect to save 20% over purchasing the components individually. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. My name's Josh Moberg, I'm the founder of Sumach Grow Labs. Today we're going to take a detailed look inside of the Sumach Grow Lab, talk about its components and its features. The Grow Lab we're going to look at today is our Elbrus. The Elbrus is 2.5 foot wide, 2 foot deep, and 4 foot high. It is our smallest Grow Lab at this time. But it's not short on features. With the exception of one feature, this Grow Lab has all the features that all of our larger grow tents have. So we're going to show this one to you here today. The first thing you're going to notice about the Sumach Grow Lab is what it's made out of. It is made out of a canvas. We chose not to go with a hard-sided shell. Now, the hard-sided shell is great, but there's a problem with it if you want to store it or put it away during the off-season, which a lot of people like to do, or if for whatever reason their lifestyle just doesn't fit for them to grow at that time. With the Sumach Grow Lab, you're able to put your Grow Lab away and easily store it. What we did as a compromise is we chose the thickest canvas that we could find that made sense, which is the industry leader 1680D canvas. It's the industry leader for its durability, strength, and density. With those, what you get is you get a great controlled environment here. It's going to control light, it's going to control sound, and it's also going to control odor by keeping it all inside of here and keeping a controlled environment. It stops things from getting in, but also stops things from getting out. Starting in the front of the grow tent, I want to show you our large window. Now, the large window is great. It's attached here at the bottom. What it allows you to do is just quickly peek in, take a look at your plants, and see how they're doing. Nice way to just kind of do a quick checkup on them. The next feature I want to point out is our door hanger. The way it works is very simple. When you unzip your door, you connect it to the D-ring up here, and it gives you nice easy access to the inside of your grow tent. Now let's talk about this hydrometer pouch. This is a hydrometer pouch. The Sumach Grow Lab does not include the hydrometer itself, but it does include this pouch, which is removable if you don't want to use it. The way that it works is you just put your hydrometer in here. We've got a port right here where you can drop your hydrometer probe down into your Grow Lab, and you can monitor the inside of your Grow Lab without actually opening it up and sacrificing the environment. Very handy, and you'll find yourself using this a whole lot. Alright, let's flip this guy to the side. First thing you may or may not notice about this Grow Lab is there is no HID or HPS light venting. That's because this is an LED exclusive grow tent, and the first one actually in the industry. We see things moving in that direction, especially for you home growers, and we know that's the future. So rather than incorporate that old technology, we've decided to give you more access to your plants. Now, this Grow Lab itself is smaller, so the door isn't as big. But this was able, especially on the larger ones, we were able to get a lot more open space on the side here for you, which you'll love. Another good thing to mention at this time is the way that the front door works. Before we talk about the vent, this front door, it's a D-style door, but it is zippered all the way the whole back. So you can actually take the entire back off and you have 360-degree access because you've got another panel on the other side. So you have plenty of room to work on your plants. Oh, sorry, we got to talk about the vent. Now this is very important. Our venting system is great. What we've done is we've incorporated 3 vents on all of the grow tents except for our largest one, which actually has 4. Lining the inside here is a micro screen. This micro screen is great because what it does is it stops dust, dirt, bugs, critters from getting in, but it still allows plenty of fresh air into your environment. So it keeps it nice and controlled inside, but it gives it plenty of outside fresh air. And we've also incorporated Velcro here so that you can roll it up just a little bit if you want. You can roll it up all the way. You have a lot of different options just depending on the type of ventilation you need. The last feature I'd like to talk about on the front of the grow tent is our zipper. The zipper is the one piece on your grow tent that's going to get more use than anything else, really. You're unzipping it and rezipping it all the time. It was important for us to have a very heavy-duty zipper, but it also had to operate very smoothly. And we wanted that to be a pleasant experience for you. We didn't want you to have to fight with a zipper. So we incorporated a very heavy-duty, yet very smooth operating zipper. It works great, and it keeps the light out. Actually, right behind the door, there's actually a double stitching here, which keeps light out, and it works extremely well. I will do a demonstration video blacking this thing out without touching it. This is just one right out of a box, but we'll do that later. So what I'm going to do is open up the Grow Lab so you can get a look inside. Now, the first thing you're going to notice when you look inside of a Sumach Grow Lab is how shiny it is. Now, the reason for that is a diamond mylar interior. That diamond mylar is going to reflect 95% of the light that hits it back to your plants, which helps reduce waste of the light, and it also helps angle some light down into areas that you may not get direct light penetration from a vertical standpoint. So that's very important. After talking about the diamond mylar, I wanted to talk about what the skeleton of the Sumach Grow Lab is made out of. And this is something we're very proud of because we wanted to build something that was going to last. We wanted something that you guys were going to be able to use for a very long time and not have to replace and just get, have a great experience with. So what we used is a 25 millimeter locking steel poles and corners. There is no part of the structure that is plastic. It's very heavy duty. It can hold 300 plus pounds. And the reason why that's important is because it allows you to do some bracing and terracing in between your tents. So you can actually use your tent as a structure to brace off of. We're also working on a tiered system that will connect to our brace or to our actual structure, so you can terrace your plants or have a tiered plant system. So that's coming up soon. We're excited about that. Just to show you real quick, and I think this is a great example because it allows you to see really what the difference is. I'm going to try to hold these so you can see the difference. See if it can focus there. The difference between theirs and ours. This is obviously theirs. This is our pole. You can see not only how much thicker it is in diameter, but hopefully, and it might be hard to see, but the thickness of the material itself, the thickness of the steel is much better on ours. These things, I mean, I could probably bend this right now. So thin. Let's talk about some of the other features inside of the Sumach Grow Lab. The next feature I want to point out is our removable waterproof liner. When you're gardening, it can be messy. You're dealing with dirt and water. The liner inside the Sumach Grow Lab is waterproof and it's got a 3-inch lip on it. So as you're working inside of your garden, you don't have to worry about little spills of dirt or water. It'll just, you'll catch it on your waterproof liner, saving your floors, but it will also allow you, it easily is removable. It's just got Velcro connectors in the corner. You can quickly disconnect it, rinse it out, wash it out, whatever you want to do, and put it back in. Very easy to maintain. Let's talk here a little bit about the Sumach Grow Lab bag. Now, this bag is special because it's not attached to the tent, and there's a reason for that. When you attach a bag to the side of fabric and you put things in it, you get stretching, you get pulling on the threads and also on the material itself. To combat that, what we did is we incorporated a hanging bag, and that hanging bag can be moved or removed anywhere inside of your grow lab or taken out. And what it does is, because it does not actually connect to the side, it prevents that wear and prevents that failure point in your grow tent. The last feature that's very unique to the Sumach Grow Lab is our hydroponic port. Now, the Elbrus does not have a hydroponic port, but all of our other grow labs do. What this allows you to do is to run your hydroponic reservoir outside of your grow lab so that you have more room to grow inside, but you also are able to keep your reservoir at a cooler temperature and monitor it and adjust pH levels and nutrients outside of the grow lab rather than having to open it up and try to work inside. As you can see, a lot of thought and effort has gone into looking at each and every little detail in the Sumach Grow Lab. What we've put together is a very great structure around the Sumach Grow Lab, and what we're going to talk about now is what's happening inside. So let's move on to the ventilation system inside the Sumach Grow Lab. The Sumach Grow Lab ventilation system is composed of 3 different components. Number 1 is your fan. Number 2 is the Sumach filter. And number 3 is a circulating fan. Now the way that it works is pretty simple. What you're doing is you are drawing fresh air in from outside. It is coming in here, it's basking your plants with that fresh air, and what this fan is doing is it's going to swirl that air around. It's going to get all underneath, down to the roots underneath your plants, before that air that's got odor and moisture now in it gets sucked up into the carbon filter, and those odors and smells are filtered out, and that's going to suck out all that. So by the time the air gets to your fan, it's pushing out fresh, clean air. Nice, fresh, clean air. So the system, especially once it's all closed up, is a perfect system from a ventilation standpoint to keep your plants nice and healthy and help them thrive. Now, what makes the Sumach Grow Fan and Sumach Grow Filter so special is, first and foremost, how loud it is. The Sumach Grow Lab that we're standing next to right now has been running the entire time I've been doing this video. It might be a little bit easier to tell now that the door is open, because that does help control the sound when that's closed, but it is a very quiet system. And the reason for that is the standard industry fan is actually right here. I'm going to show it to you now. Is one of these guys. This is the industry standard, and these are much louder. This one's actually a little bit quieter than most, and so probably isn't a great representation of how loud it can be, but it still gives you an idea of what it is. I'm going to plug it in here. It takes a minute, takes a second, I should say, to kind of ramp up, but this is going to give you an idea of what these sound like. Now that's about as loud as it's going to get. That's 50 decibels. This is considered conversation level. It's pretty loud. I don't know if I enjoy talking about this. I'm going to unplug this now so we can talk about the Sumach fan. Our Sumach fan is unique because it is so much quieter. It's running at only 30 decibels, which is considered scientifically to be whisper quiet. Now, while it's running that quiet, it does not mean it's not doing its job. We are switching out the air inside of this Sumach Grow Lab every 30 seconds. So your plants every 30 seconds are getting fresh, clean air. In regards to that, it also has 2 different settings. We've got a high and low setting, just depending on how quickly you want to move the air out. But generally the low setting works just fine. What makes our Sumach Grow Filter so special is its 2-inch thick Australian RC412 virgin activated carbon. What that carbon does is it is a very open porous material. So as that air gets sucked through it, moisture and odor is absorbed into that carbon and scrubbed clean before getting sucked out as fresh air. It's very effective. It does its job very well, and both of these components are made out of very high quality materials, and the individual components of them are top notch. We've also chosen a hurricane circulating fan. Now these are great. These are going to hold up very well in any grow lab situation. We have 2 settings on that as well, a high and a low, all integrated into your system. Now that we've talked about the Sumach Grow Fan and filter, I'm excited because now we get to talk about the heart and soul of the Sumach Grow Lab, which is the Sumach Grow LED. The Sumach Grow LED is a hybrid LED grow light, utilizing the latest LED technology to replicate the light spectrums plants need during different parts of their light cycle. I'm going to be doing a separate video where I get really deep into the science behind the LED grow light and how it works with plants. But today we're going to keep it simple and talk about the features that matter to you. Over the last couple of years, there's been some major improvements in LED grow lights, making it the clear choice for personal growers like yourself. What we're able to do now is produce a full 13-band light spectrum tailored to replicate spring and summer. Now, the Sumach Grow LED has two settings for these different times of the year. We've got a vegetative setting, which has been on this entire time, and that's what you've been seeing. That vegetative light is going to be more of a blue-white light, and that's going to replicate the spring months. The other setting is our bloom light. Our bloom light is to represent later summer. Now, I'm going to switch this off, and we're going to switch our bloom light on. And you can see the bloom light is a very dark, deep red, and that's to represent mid to late summer. Both of them do their jobs very well. We're seeing par values with the light somewhere around 1150 at 18 inches. That'll also be in the video where we dig into the science behind the LED. But the problem is, this light is obnoxiously blinding. It gives you a headache if you're trying to work underneath this color LED. What's unique about the Sumach Grow LED is it allows you to work underneath a better light without disrupting your light cycle. Normally, you don't want to shut off your lights while your plants are growing. It disrupts their light cycle. So what we can do with the Sumach Grow LED is we're going to turn the vegetative light on, and then we're going to turn the bloom light off. Now, the plants are still receiving light, so they're not going to be confused. They're not going to go into hibernation because you're still getting enough of the light to work on your plants. Now, before you set it back, you do want to switch that back to your bloom simply by switching your bloom on and your vegetative off. But it does allow you to work easily inside of your grow lab without being disrupted. Speaking of light cycles, these are easily controlled with our easy to use electric timer. Just set your light cycle and your light will turn on and off automatically. A huge benefit in using LED grow lights is how much electricity they use. On average, they use 50% less electricity over HID or HPS lights, and growers are reporting 15% larger yields, thanks to the healthy light that the plants are getting and the well-balanced light. Now, along with that electric usage that's dropping, you're also dropping temperatures. As we talked about, we do not need those side cooling fans because we are just running an LED. There is cooling inside of the LED. There are heat sinks and there's a fan in there cooling it. But there isn't any ancillary heat or cooling that is needed. Now, that's a big benefit. Number one, because of noise, but also two, because you don't have to cool because the temperature isn't there. You're not baking your plants, using more water, using more nutrients, and you're also not developing a readable heat signature. So you're keeping a nice controlled environment that is much safer and much more productive in what it's yielding. You can expect an ambient condition or an ambient temperature to be raised 3 to 5 degrees. At a normal 70 degrees in your home, 70, 72, you're going to be sitting right at 75 to 78 degrees, which is a perfect temperature for growing, creating a nice, perfect closed environment. One of the last features I want to show you here in the Sumach Grow Lab is the heavy-duty adjustable hangers that we include with your Sumach Grow Lab. They easily adjust up and down with clicking, locking mechanism. You can raise and lower your lights as simple as pulling up or releasing the clip and lowering. That pretty much does it for the Sumach Grow Lab. The last thing I want to point out is our 3-year warranty on all of the major components of the Sumach Grow Lab. So the Sumach Grow tent, the Sumach Grow fan, and the Sumach Grow LED are all covered for 3 years against manufacturer defects. What that means is that if you have an issue with one of your items, you're going to call us right away. We're going to immediately take a box and send it out to you. What we ask you to do though is pack that item back up and send it back to us. And that'll keep your downtime down and keep you growing. I understand how confusing it can be trying to put together these components and grow labs and make everything work together. But we've taken care of that for you, and we want to deliver you a great unit that's super easy to use and you'll have a lot of fun with and a lot of great success with. Thanks again for joining us. Grow smart, grow safe, simply grow. Sumach Grow Labs.